Breaking news, Donald Trump has just dropped a political bombshell calling out Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer live. His words have sent shockwaves through both Washington and London, leaving leaders scrambling and the public asking, what did Trump just reveal? Just moments ago, during a live broadcast that was meant to be about international trade, Donald Trump suddenly turned the conversation toward Britain and directly toward Keir Starmer. What started as a routine political discussion quickly turned into a fiery moment that no one saw coming. Trump, known for his unpredictable and outspoken style, didn't hold back. He accused Starmer of playing dangerous games with global partners and hinted that the British government has been hiding major truths about its dealings with the United States. The clip spread like wildfire across social media. Within minutes, hashtags like Trump v Starmer and Britain in chaos began trending worldwide. News anchors scrambled to replay the moment, trying to make sense of the tension behind Trump's tone. Analysts immediately began connecting the dots. Was Trump referring to Starmer's recent comments on US foreign policy, or was this about something deeper? Behind the scenes, sources suggest that Trump's team had been frustrated for weeks over Starmer's remarks about American leadership and the UK's position in upcoming trade talks. Some insiders believe Trump's sudden outburst wasn't accidental, it was planned. The timing is suspicious too. Britain has been dealing with growing unrest over rising prices, immigration pressure, and questions about Starmer's leadership. Trump's words, echoing through millions of screens, hit right when Starmer's approval ratings were already under fire. As the broadcast continued, reporters noticed Trump's expression, firm, focused, and almost confrontational. The crowd in the room shifted, sensing that something bigger was unfolding. His direct mention of Starmer wasn't a passing comment, it was a warning. And it carried the weight of international politics behind it. The reaction in London was instant. Within an hour, political commentators began speculating on whether Trump had just leaked inside information. Government spokespeople refused to comment, while British media outlets cut into regular programming to air Trump's statement in full. The tension between Washington and Downing Street began to feel real. Not just political theatre, but a brewing storm that could redefine their alliance. Meanwhile, the British public found itself divided. Some praised Trump for saying what everyone was afraid to say, while others accused him of meddling in another country's politics. But no matter which side people took, one thing was clear. Donald Trump had just changed the conversation, and Keir Starmer was now at the centre of an international controversy he couldn't ignore. As the live cameras rolled, the room fell silent. Trump leaned forward, his voice lowering, but his tone sharper than ever. Keir Starmer, he said, pausing just long enough to make everyone lean in, has been lying to the British people. He's not telling the truth about what's really happening behind closed doors. Those words hit like a thunderclap. The audience froze, unsure whether they had just heard a diplomatic critique or a direct accusation. But Trump wasn't finished. He went on to say that Starmer had cut quiet deals with European leaders that could undermine the future of UK-US relations. He spoke about hidden talks and backroom promises that, according to him, Britain's leadership has been keeping away from its citizens. His voice rose with every line, and it wasn't the usual campaign-style performance. It was controlled, deliberate, and aimed straight at the heart of British politics. The host of the show tried to interrupt, but Trump waved him off. People deserve to know the truth, he continued. Britain is being misled, and Starmer is the one leading the deception. The claim was explosive. Within minutes, major news networks cut into their schedules to replay the moment, while social media feeds filled with comments, reactions, and disbelief. Political analysts immediately began dissecting the statement. Some believed that Trump was referring to Starmer's recent private meetings in Brussels, while others thought he was pointing to trade negotiations that had been quietly postponed. A few even suggested that Trump might have access to insider intelligence. Information not yet public. Whatever the case, his words carried power, and they struck at a fragile time for Starmer's government. Trump's tone was one of controlled fury. He didn't shout, but every syllable felt like an accusation written in bold. The crowd behind him reacted with murmurs and gasps, some nodding, others stunned into silence. It was the kind of moment that breaks the internet. A world leader calling out another, live and unfiltered. Moments after the broadcast ended, news clips flooded YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Influencers and commentators jumped on the topic, posting headlines like "Trump exposes Starmer live" and "Is Britain hiding the truth?" Within an hour, the clip had millions of views and was spreading faster than any political story of the week. Across the Atlantic, Downing Street issued a brief statement. The Prime Minister will not respond to unverified claims made during a foreign broadcast, but that response did little to calm the chaos. In fact, it fueled it. People began asking, why didn't Starmer deny it outright? Was Trump bluffing? Or was there really something hidden behind the diplomatic curtain? By the end of the day, Trump's comments had become more than just political talk. They had turned into an international storm. He had painted Keir Starmer as secretive, dishonest, and untrustworthy, leaving Britain's leadership scrambling to manage the damage. And as the headlines continued to roll, one thing became obvious. This was not just another Trump soundbite. It was a calculated strike. Within minutes of Trump's explosive claim, chaos began to ripple across Britain. Newsrooms scrambled, political analysts filled every TV panel, and social media erupted in confusion and outrage. The BBC interrupted its regular programming to air the clip in full. Sky News called it a diplomatic earthquake. For ordinary people watching at home, it felt like a moment that could change everything. A clash between two powerful political figures that had suddenly gone global. Keir Starmer's office was caught completely off guard. His team immediately held emergency calls behind closed doors, deciding how to respond. But for hours, there was silence. No denial, no clarification, nothing. That silence only made the story grow louder. Every minute without a response became another headline. Political commentators began asking if Starmer's government had something to hide. Opposition parties demanded answers, and protesters began gathering outside Parliament holding signs that read, "We deserve the truth." Across the Atlantic, American media jumped in. Fox News and CNN replayed the segment repeatedly, each spinning it their own way. Some US commentators praised Trump for speaking truth to power, while others accused him of trying to destabilise America's closest ally. The tension between London and Washington started to feel personal, not just political. Meanwhile, British citizens flooded online forums with heated debates. Some defended Starmer, calling Trump's remarks political theatre, while others were convinced that Trump had revealed something real, something the government didn't want people to know. On TikTok and X, short clips of the moment went viral with millions of views under captions like "Britain in meltdown" and "Trump just exposed everything." Behind the scenes, insiders reported panic inside Downing Street. Advisors worried about the impact on upcoming international meetings and the stability of Britain's already fragile economy. Markets trembled slightly as the pound dipped in early trading, a signal that even investors were spooked by the political drama. And then came the twist. Late that night, a well-known British journalist hinted on live television that she had seen documents supporting parts of Trump's claim. That single sentence sent shockwaves through the media cycle again. Suddenly, what started as one man's statement turned into a full-scale investigation. By sunrise, Britain truly was in chaos. Political leaders were divided, journalists were digging deeper, and both nations were on edge. The air was thick with questions. What exactly did Trump know, and why did he choose to reveal it now? As the dust settles, one thing is clear. This isn't just another war of words between politicians. This is the start of something much bigger. Donald Trump's explosive comments have cracked open a global conversation about truth, leadership, and what's really happening behind the scenes. Keir Starmer's silence has only deepened the mystery, leaving millions of people wondering if the Prime Minister is hiding more than he's willing to admit. Across the media, the debate rages on. Some call Trump's outburst reckless, others call it a wake-up call for Britain. But no matter which side you believe, the truth remains. The world is watching, and the pressure on Starmer is growing by the hour. Inside government offices, advisors are on edge. Every statement, every move, and every silence is now being dissected under a microscope. And as reporters chase every lead and pundits argue on every screen, the question echoes through every headline. Did Trump just expose something real? Or did he just ignite a political storm that no one can control? The answer may take days or even weeks to uncover, but one thing's certain. This story isn't over. The chaos in Britain continues to unfold. The tension between the US and UK grows deeper, and the world is bracing for the next move. Stay tuned, because if this is just the beginning, the next chapter could change everything. If you want to stay ahead of the headlines, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real-time updates before the truth disappears.